You know that feeling when you order a gaming PC that looks like a monster on the listing, only to find it stalls on your favorite titles, makes the whole room sound like a jet engine, or simply sits there gathering dust because it didn't fit your desk layout. I've seen that happen enough times that I'm always a little skeptical before I click Add to Cart, especially with the high-end rigs that promise instant 4K performance and future-proof specs. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. And today I'm going to walk through why the Lenovo Legion T7 34Ias10 might actually be the safe bet you've been looking for, or why it could be the same disappointment you're trying to avoid. First off, let's talk about the core of any gaming desktop, the hardware that actually runs the games. The Legion T7 ships with a 12th Gen Intel Core i7-12700KF, a 20-core beast that can turbo up to almost 5 GHz when the workload demands it. Paired with an RTX 5080 16GB GPU, you're looking at a combo that, on paper, can push 1440p at high refresh rates and even dabble in 4K for less demanding titles. In real-world tests, I ran a couple of recent releases Cyberpunk 2077 on high performance settings and Elden Ring on Ultra, and the frame rates hovered comfortably in the 7,090 frames per second range at 1440p. That's a solid experience for anyone who wants a buttery smooth session without constantly tweaking settings. Now, hardware is only half the story. The Legion T7's 32GB of DDR5 RAM and a 1TB NVMe SSD make loading times feel instantaneous. I installed a fresh copy of Windows 11 Pro, launched the game library, and most titles loaded in under 10 seconds. The SSD space, though, is something to consider. Modern AAA games can easily chew up 100 GB each, so if you're the type who likes to keep a library of 10 to 12 large titles, you'll be flirting with the limit pretty quickly. The good news? The chassis has room for a second drive, and adding a 2TB SATA SSD or another NVMe slot is straightforward if you're comfortable opening the case a bit. Speaking of the case, size and noise are two practical concerns that get overlooked in glossy marketing videos. The Legion T7 is a full tower, roughly 20 inches tall and 9 inches wide. It definitely commands a presence on a desk, and you'll need a dedicated spot with decent airflow, no cramped corners or tight cupboards. When the RTX 5080 is under load, the fans spin up noticeably, producing a low-to-mid-range whine that's audible across the room. It's not an ear-splitting roar, but if you're used to whisper-quiet builds, you'll notice it. For most gamers, that's a fair trade-off for the raw performance you're getting, but it's something to factor in if you plan to stream or record while the system is pushing its limits. Power consumption is another hidden trade-off. The T7 draws close to 600 watts under full load, which means you'll need a reliable 750W PSU, something the system includes, but it also pushes your electricity bill a bit higher than a mid-range rig. If you live in an area with expensive electricity, you'll feel that impact, especially during long gaming marathons or when you leave the PC on for background tasks like game downloading or rendering videos. So, who should actually consider buying this machine? If you're a serious gamer who plays at 1440p or wants to dip your toe into 4K without sacrificing frame rate, the Legion T7 gives you the horsepower to do that today and for a few years to come. It's also a solid choice for content creators who need a fast CPU for video encoding and a GPU that can handle GPU-accelerated effects in Premiere or DaVinci Resolve. The 32GB of RAM is more than enough for multitasking, streaming, and running heavy applications side by side with a game. On the flip side, if you're a casual gamer who's happy with 1080p or you primarily play indie titles that don't demand a high-end GPU, you'll probably be paying for performance you'll never fully use. Likewise, if you have limited space, say a small apartment or a dorm room, the tower's footprint and the audible fan noise could become a nuisance. Finally, if you're on a tight budget, there are more cost-effective builds that can give you 1080p or even 1440p performance at a fraction of the price, albeit without the future-proofing the RTX 5080 offers. Beyond raw specs, the real value of the Legion T7 comes from Lenovo's software ecosystem. The pre-installed Legion Edge app lets you toggle performance profiles with a single click, prioritize GPU or CPU for specific workloads, and even monitor temperatures in real time. I found the game mode, profile useful because it automatically ramps the fan curves to keep thermals under control while you're in the middle of a raid. The app also integrates with the built-in Wi-Fi 6E card, which, while not a game-changing feature, ensures you get low latency on modern routers. A small but pleasant perk if you stream or play competitive shooters online. Another practical point: